everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we're going to be doing an Easter glitter fade acrylic design, so I really hope you all enjoy watching. To start off with, I'm working on my Glamour Liz practice hand and I have already applied my tips and a thin clear acrylic base. And in today's design, I'm going to be using the Young Nails acrylic system. So I did use their clear acrylic to do my clear base. And then I'm coming in with a cover blush. Now, cover blush is a really soft, I'm going to say milky pink, and it does have a really subtle shimmer running through it. It's a really lovely colour to work with. And I love that it had the glitter in it because it's that little bit extra pretty. If you missed my previous, I think it was the previous video, or it might have been the one before, but I did do a Young Nails unboxing, so I will leave that linked in the description box below in case you want to check that out. So on to the design. All the nails are pretty much the same in this design until we get to the end where we're going to do some stamping. So I'm coming in with the cover blush on all of the nails. I'm placing that bead of acrylic down in the natural nail bed area, and I'm just tapping it up into the cuticle area, and then I'm just taking it from side to side. I'm leaving the bulk of it on the natural nail bed area, and then I'm fading this down towards the tip of the nail. It doesn't matter if it doesn't reach all the way down to the tip of the nail because we are going to be using a chunky glitter there anyway. So I'm just blending it out. I'm not stressing too much about creating a perfect blend or anything like that. I'm just making sure that the bulk of the colour is on the natural nail bed and it fades out nice and subtle. It is a really easy acrylic to work with. My ratio was a little bit off. There was times where I felt as though I was working with it a little bit too wet and a little bit too dry. Like here, my bead was a little bit too dry. So I dipped my brush into the monomer and then just popped that bit of monomer. I fed that bit of monomer back into the bead of acrylic, if that makes sense. I'm just new to the Young Nails acrylic system and I'm trying to get used to the ratio. But like I said, it's a lovely acrylic system to work with. I'm just using the very tip of my brush just to get this as close to the cuticle area as possible, and then I'm using the belly of my brush to blend that out. I'm not really building up too much strength or structure here because I am going to encapsulate the nails anyway, but naturally where we're leaving a lot of that product on the natural nail bed area, we are building up a little bit of the apex anyway. So as you can see here, I'm moving that finger around so I can get as close in those sidewalls as possible without touching the skin. And I'm just using the tip of that brush to get it nice and flush at the cuticle area. If you do need to come in with a little bit more acrylic, say you're not happy with the coverage or you want to bring your fade a little bit further down, you can just come in with a small bead of acrylic and do that. So now we have got our cover blush down. We're going to come in with our glitter. So I'm using this gorgeous one from Charlie's Nail Art. This is Spring Awakening. How beautiful is this glitter? As you can see, it's got some multi-cut green pieces in there. Well, it's got a finer green base and then it's got some green holographic hexes, and then we've got some iridescent and pastel hexes, and then there's some large hearts and the large bunny shapes. It's a really fun mix. It's got a lot going on in it, but it's such a fun mix. Now when I'm using a mix like this where there's such a variety between fine glitters and really chunky glitters, I like to go in first of all and just pick up a small bead, get that down on the nail, and then I go in and individually pick out any of the chunkier pieces that I want to use. So here you'll see I'm picking up some of those little bunny heads and also some of the larger iridescent hexes in there. This way you're able to just pick out those particular shapes that you want and kind of get the nail exactly how you want it to look. I find if I do it this way, my glitter fade or the glitter application will look a lot more appealing to the eye, and I'll just be overall a lot more happier with it. If I come in with a big bead and pick up loads of the glitter pieces, you end up with a lot of those chunky pieces overlapping and you're not really able to see them. So I personally prefer to have a fewer of the chunkier pieces on the nail, but have them all placed pretty much exactly where I want them to be. So again, doing the same here, I've picked up a pretty small but wet bead of clear acrylic, dipping straight into that glitter and just focusing on getting the glitter down on the nail and a thin layer covering everywhere I want it to cover. And then if I have picked up any chunkier pieces in that first bead, I'll just nudge them into place. But then I'll go in with my wet brush and pick up more pieces as I go along. If I do feel as though I need a little bit extra acrylic like I did here to hold those chunkier pieces in place, I'll just pick up a really small bead and place that down, and then you're able to get your chunky glitter piece to stay exactly where you place it, and it's also going to hold it in place for when it comes to encapsulating as well. If you haven't got enough acrylic mixed in with your glitter, if your glitter to acrylic ratio is off, what will happen is when it comes to encapsulating, the glitter won't have anything holding it in place, and then it will move around on the nail, which makes encapsulating a little bit trickier. So especially with the chunkier pieces, I like to make sure there's enough acrylic down holding them in place. On this particular nail, in my first bead of glitter and acrylic, I didn't pick up any chunkier pieces, so I just popped a wash of clear acrylic down and then set my chunkier pieces down into that. I wanted to make sure I had a variety across the nails of some of the flowers, some of the iridescent pieces, and some of the rabbits, so there was a little bit of all of the things on all of the nails. I didn't want anything looking plain. I wanted it to look a little bit extra. I love these kind of glitter mixes though. I find them really fun, and I do especially love putting them in glitter fades. Now, it has been a little while since I've fluently uploaded acrylic videos on my channel. I just feel as though I'm constantly saying life's been really busy and life's been really hectic. It's kind of just been one thing after the other. And then I did go away to Cornwall for a couple of days. So again, it's kind of thrown off my now schedule. But I do really want to get into the routine of uploading more, especially my acrylic designs, as they are one of my favourite things to do. But anyway, back to the nails. This is what the nails look like once we had applied all of the glitter. I'm then going to come in and encapsulate using the Young Nails Speed Clear. And as you see, I started off by just lightly washing over the nail with my wet brush. So I've just wet my brush, dampened it really in a little bit of monomer, and I've washed that over the nail. I mainly do this when I'm encapsulating anything chunky, just because I find if the nail is moist with a little bit of monomer, that clear acrylic flows around those chunkier pieces a lot easier. So if you are struggling encapsulating chunky glitters or anything chunky that you're encapsulating, then definitely give that a go. Then I'm just working my way up or down the nail, depending on what way you want to look at it, with my clear acrylic. So I started off at the tip, made sure I'd fully encapsulated that, and then I'm just working up. With this particular bead here, I'm making sure that I build up my apex. Now I am working on a practice hand, so I don't stress too much about building up the perfect apex, but I do try my best to get it as good as possible, just because it's good practice to be in. When you are building up your apex, you want to make sure that you've got enough strength there to support the length of the nail. And then I'm just always feathering and blending out that acrylic, rubbing my brush very gently over it to make sure everything is smooth as possible, because I find the neater your acrylic application is, the less filing you have. Now this particular nail was looking a little bit thin at the tip, so I did come in with another small bead to fix that. Off camera, I encapsulated the rest of the nails exactly the same, and then again off camera I did do all of the filing. So as you can see, I've just contoured them, sharpened up that shape, and then give them a buff and a clean off before coming in with a hint of stamping. So for my stamping, I'm using these brand new plates from Miss Lucy. This is the winter foliage plate, but I love these kind of florally, foliagey things in the spring as well. So although it's a winter plate, it's definitely one that you can still get lots of use out of in the spring, summer as well. Now the first stamping polish I used was a Born Pretty one, and Nicole Diary one, and it's gone a little bit thick. I've had it in my drawer for a very long time, so that's why it didn't pick up as nicely as I would have wanted, but you will see when I use my clear jelly stamper polish, it picks up a lot better. I think it's just this particular stamping polish has had its day. Now going back to the Miss Lucy stamping plates, Miss Lucy has a very recently launched, I think it's 12 plates on her website. I'll have a look, and anyway I'll leave her website linked in the description box below. But I did do a set recently using the Celestial plate, and I absolutely love that one. But I picked this plate up as well, and I wanted to use this one in today's set just to add a little hint of spring on top of that Easter glitter fade. I really love all the leaves at the moment in nails, so I wanted to add some of those. And I really loved that this particular image was a layered one as well. This particular plate has a mix of single and layered designs. Now, as I said, I will leave the Miss Lucy website linked in the description box below for you guys to check out. And if you do decide that you want to place an order, I do also have a discount code for 10% off. So I will leave that linked in the description box below for you guys as well. So as you can see, the images pick up amazingly. I'm using my clear jelly stamper. Even with this particular stamping polish, which has gone a little bit thick, I still had really good pickup. I like to apply a generous amount of stamping polish, scrape once or twice depending on how much stamping polish I've applied, and then I just find a quick flick of the wrist, rolling that stamper over the image, picks it up effortlessly. And then I'm going to press it down and rock from side to side to make sure that that stamper has had a good contact with the nail so that the image transfers nicely on to the nail. Then I'm giving my plate a good clean with some acetone before we come in and apply our next image. So obviously this is a layered image, so we're going to use the image that's next to it. And here I'm using, I think this is number 98 from Clear Jelly Stamper. It's a lighter green polish. So I had applied quite a bit of polish, so I'd done 2 scrapes. And then again, same as before, quick flick of the wrist with the stamper, and then you're able to pick up your image. And then once again, same as before, I'm going to line this up. I do like to take a little minute or two. I have sped the video up so it doesn't look like that, but I just take a couple of seconds to line up the image and then press and roll down exactly the same as when you applied that first image. And I just felt as though, even though it's only a hint of stamping, it really helped pull the design together and just add a little something extra to it all. I love a little bit of stamping. So we're now ready to come in and top coat, and I'm going to be using the Young Nails top coat. Now this was my first time, I have used this top coat before, but this was my first time using it over stamping, and I did find that it separated a little bit. And I do find this with a lot of top coats. I find that you just need to find the technique that works for that top coat and stamping. Sometimes you can wipe over the nail with a little bit of alcohol, or even sometimes applying it thinner or applying it thicker. Sometimes 2 coats works better, but I just ended up doing the 1 coat, and then right before I popped the hand into the lamp to cure, I just evened out the separating that was on the 2 nails with the stamping. Watching this back, I do feel as though I applied this top coat a little bit too thick as well. It is a thicker top coat anyway, but I felt as though I was putting on too much on the nail, which doesn't help with things like separating. So I definitely have a play around with it and stamping and see what I can come up with. And then anyway, once I had finished applying the top coat, you can kind of see here as well, I love when you come and apply your top coat to your glitter nails, how much the glitter comes to life. And I did love on these 2 nails how the glitter pops through the stamping, and you can still see parts of it. I thought it looked really, really pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But anyway, once I had finished applying that top coat to all of the nails, I popped these in to cure for a full 60 seconds. And then I have left a clip and picture at the end showing you guys what the finished result looked like. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing. We've had a little bit of sunshine here in the UK, which has been lovely. So I hope you have some sunshine where you are. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscription button. I'm really close to 5,000 subscribers, so I appreciate you all so much. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.